This is going to be a really quick example of a randomization test comparing the means of two independent groups. This is an older data set that I have. It's not the one that you're working with. I don't think so, at least. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the heights of people who are and are not dieting. Under resampling, it's a randomization test for two sample means. When we get in here, there's a few different options. The way that your data set is set up and the way that this data set is set up, both samples are in one column. In other words, all of the heights are in one column, and then there's a second column that tells us whether or not they're dieting. It's also possible to do this if you would have a column with all of the people who are dieting and all of the people who are not dieting. But I think the way I have it here and the way you have it in the lab, both samples are in one column. Samples, here it would be the quantitative variable, height, and then sample IDs is the grouping variable. I'm comparing people who are and are not dieting. Number of resamples, we'll leave it at 1,000 because that's the highest that Minitab Express will go. Under options, the default is to do a two-tailed test. So that's what I want to do in this case because I have no idea if the people who are or are not dieting will be taller. If you needed to change it to a left-tailed test or a right-tailed test, you would do that here. We click OK. The output that you get is going to be the same as the output that you got for one mean or one proportion. First, you get a histogram. The p-value would be the total area that's shaded in red here. So if you're using the histogram, you'd have to remember to add the left and the right sides together for a two-tailed test. This tells us that group 1 is the group that is not dieting. Group 2 is dieting. Descriptive statistics. And then the last table will give you the p-value. So here, p equals 0.0820. I failed to reject the null hypothesis. There is not evidence that the heights of people who are and are not dieting are different.